but mowing and cutting hair, I don't know what they're quite ready for. Yes.
Read the minutes that just got.
Yeah.
I went down to see Roy.
Quarter-based this
He said the
morning.
Boy Scouts are doing their training class, but we all know how that goes.
Isn't that the way it works?
Oh, 10 o'clock. We'll see if Bill's on the Zoom here. Not yet, but I'll keep an eye out for him.
Okay.
And we have a copy to do, but there's a copy.
10 o'clock exactly.
Oh, okay.
Are you able to put my PowerPoint up?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
It's
gonna
basically
try to-
this, but I don't want all of you to be able to see it. That's all.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Do you want them to each have one of these? Or?
I made some for them already,
Oh,
just for
okay.
you.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Bill coming today too?
He's on the Zoom today.
Okay.
He's not coming in person.
Gotcha. Come on.
Okay, we'll call to order the meeting of the Board of Commissioners for July, what is today? 11th, 2024. 10 o'clock, please join me for the pledge. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Too much paperwork here. Okay. Do you have any media questions today? Seeing none? Melissa, did you send those pictures to David?
Yes.
Okay. Any public comment from the graduation?
Yes, Fred Kane from Wolfboro. I want to say that I received a phone call the other day from a family member of one of the residents who told me that, you know, he watches the meetings and, you know, he likes to know what goes on, but he did want to comment and wanted me to bring up the fact that they cleaned up the outside of the nursing home and they did the mulching and with some of the men from the jail, and they did a great job, and his mother-in-law enjoys looking out the window at it and said that it was a real pleasure to do it, and they're hoping that it'll cool down a little so they can bring the mother-in-law out so she can actually walk through the area over there, but with the humidity, they'd like to keep her in there right now. So I did want to, I don't know, Director Murray was in charge of that, but I just want to let you know that the residents over there are appreciative of it. Thank you very much.
Any other public comment?
Yeah. Kevin Hula, the road. Yeah, I was just curious what the update is on the hay making. Make hay while the sun shines. It'd be nice to have the farm manager come in and, you know, put on the agenda. Maybe I might request that we get an update, see if there's any breakdowns or any, you know, whatever, you know, complications or you know, something went awry, or because it's been pretty good weather to make hay. So yeah, it'd be great because he's really doing I guess a bang-up job, and one of my favorite employees at this county too. So that'd be great if he could come in and give an update on how the hay is going. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Seeing none, okay. Approval of the minutes for June 27th.
Motion to approve.
I'll second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry, but that would be July 3rd.
Oh, okay. Melissa, not you, you didn't make a mistake.
Oh, I didn't change it on the agenda, did I?
No.
No.
It should say July 3rd.
I was like, looked at it twice and oh,
Thank you.
okay, need you to.
So you correct your motion,
Yeah.
yes? You good?
Yes,
Okay.
Yep.
Thank
motion
you.
to approve the meeting minutes of July 3rd, 2024.
Second, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. signature copies here, and then the Hale's signature copies there too.
Okay. Accounts payable for July 10th was $226,598.09. Payroll for July 12th, $294,560.78.
Motion to accept.
I will second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. We will now go into recess for Hale's Location Board of Selectmen meeting.
10:05.
Okay, we have one check for the tax collector. We have one, oh, this check is check number 2730, made out to Carroll County in the amount of $6,645.29.
What was that for?
It's for the taxes that come to the county.
Motion to accept.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Second.
Aye.
I'm not used to having to second. I'm gonna sign that. And approval of the minutes for July 3rd.
So moved.
I will second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Here, you can sign that. Any further questions on Hales? We have no update on the septic situation.
That was gonna be my question. Who are we communicating with? The health officer?
Yes.
And who's doing that, Melissa?
No, I just wait for him to contact me with any, I mean, he probably will do Melissa off something, but
Melissa, do you speak to him?
I haven't spoken to him since you guys met.
no, they're
No.
still waiting.
Well, but my question is, should we be a little proactive here? I mean, what are they doing? It's been a year and a half, and it's been 2 weeks since the meeting. I don't think we've heard anything, have we?
No, no.
Well, I would suggest Melissa get a hold of our health officer and see what they're doing.
That would be fine, but if there's anything, they always call me, so if Melissa feels that she needs to call him, that's fine.
Well, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And
Whatever
it doesn't
Not
seem
so
to-
with the state.
Well, it doesn't seem to be moving fast, so they seemed to indicate when we left the meeting that they felt that they could move
Yes.
forward fairly fast. I don't know what fairly fast means for the state, but it's been 2 weeks and we haven't heard anything, so. It's a question.
Okay, and the next thing, so we're back into our regular scheduled meeting for the county commissioners, and it is
10:08.
10:08?
Yes.
I believe under the RSA as selectman, the health officer has more authority and can actually put a
Yes.
cease and desist and stop that process until it's fixed. Once there's a plan, they have 30 to 60 days to replace the system. And, you know, as selectman for Hale, you've been talking about this for a year and a half, and I would assume the health officer works for the selectman, and the selectman should instruct him to do something, not to wait for him to get back to the selectman. Thank you very much.
Okay, next we have the proposal for the environmental review for the annex project.
I presented that to the commissioners last week, and you wanted a week to mull it over and also decide where it would be funded from. The suggestion was made that it come out of the new budget line
Right.
in the commissioner's office.
I have not heard anything back from the delegation, other than that they thought that that was fine, but it was supposed to be left up to Representative McConkey, and I have not heard anything from him yet, whether we can do that or not. But I would suggest we go through with it, and if they don't want it to come out of that one, we will take it somewhere else. We have to get this started.
Well, maybe. First of all, I'm a little disappointed that we found out at the last minute we needed an environmental review. How long is it going to take to do that, Melissa?
On the initial call, it was 10 to 12 weeks. And then when I had a further discussion with the environmental consultant, he's saying we'll be pushing it to have it done by the end of the year. So,
And when are we required to have the money expended or committed?
we have a deadline of December 31st, 2024 to have the ARPA funds committed, which means signed contracts. It's not just we know what we want to do with it, we actually have to have a contract in place.
So the question is that realistic?
Yes.
I'm not so sure about that. I mean, it's July.
I mean, I will tell you that there's a couple of things. So it has to go through a couple of state agencies, right? We have to get it signed off on by the State Department of Historic Resources. There's public comment periods. There's some other things that may involve other state agencies.
I would,
Do
if
you
I
want to speak
may,
to
I
that
would
part?
rather talk about this in non-public, because I have some stuff, but
Okay.
it's
Well,
not
I'd
for
rather
public.
not talk about it in non-public.
Well,
I'd
then
like
fine.
to talk about it here. I mean, we spent a lot of money on this. We're into it. How much are we into this project for at this point? 200,000?
I'd have to pull the Siemens.
No.
We just spent
LOIs
money
to
for the
give you
roof.
an
Now we
accurate-
want to spend more money for an environmental survey. And are we going to be able to make this happen? And before we spend a lot more money, I'd like to see a timeline of if this is still doable.
I'm going to go into recess and ask that everybody leave the room, please.
10:12.
We're back, and it is
10:16.
15, and go ahead, continue.
Me, I'm good to go.
Point of order. Can we have an explanation of what happened?
Nothing happened. There was no conversation. It was decided that we would go into non-public later today.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's done. Okay, next we're up with Mr. Burgess.
I'll step around here, but I'll copy of this one.
Thank you.
Should have built two. Let's see what it says.
Melissa, can you call Bob back?
Yeah, I just sent him a message.
Okay.
All right, great morning to you, commissioners.
Good morning.
Right.
So, we're excited to talk about this. I own 6 companies, but this is our newest endeavor, our partnership with Supernova. And exciting because I'm not asking the county for anything, I'm literally giving them something here. There's 2 parts. I'm really here about the second part, but the first part is why there's a need for it. So I'm going to go through, this won't be a long conversation.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay? Supernova, headed by Chris Grigwell, he's a Shark Tank billionaire. There's 4 of them actually with private equity. Got the government contract through a couple of bills that were passed in November of 21, and we're finally able to go live. He has 25 years of experience in energy and solar, but you probably noticed 3-4 years ago, other than Tesla, the Kias and the Fords and GMs and the Hyundai started making electric vehicles. Government put tens of billions of dollars into electric vehicles for the two manufacturers. And there was incentives for purchasers, the consumers, to buy those, but there was a huge problem. Everybody went home, plugged them into the 120, and it took 2, 3 to 5 days to plug them in. And they were afraid to leave. The drive time was like 200 to 280 miles at best. You know, at GMC Denali, they can get almost 600 on a full tank sometimes, right? So people are afraid to leave because you don't know where. We've seen memes of, you know, a gas generator, you know, charging a car on the side of the road, electric vehicle. So there's no charging points around the country. So we've been tasked, first of all, with, in the next 6 months, putting 100,000 charging stations across this country. We actually need 6 billion altogether. We're going to be doing the super majority of that from coast to coast. However, right now, it gets hot up here, but if you're in Florida or Texas or Arizona or Nevada right now, a guy that works for me in Dallas, they hit 110 sometimes. When everybody's AC is on down in the southern part of the country, our grid can hardly sustain that as it is. You plug in 16 million EVs to that, and there's no way it will sustain. That's why the second part of this, we're actually adding energy instead of taking to it, which I'll get to the second part. But let's talk about the EV chargers. The guy that works for me from Mass, he was up in Jackson on vacation. He checked a place to plug in a Tesla. There was 2. I think it was the Wentworth and the Eagle Hotels. The only 2 places he could plug in a Tesla. He had checked ahead of time. There is a charging station in
Hanover.
across from Ossipee. I think they have 10 or 12 pumps. I've yet to see a single person charging there, okay? We're not real adapters up here, but I'm at my lake house this week in Wakefield, and when I was walking my dogs, one of the person's lake house cottage down by the lake is a bunch of stairs to go up to the parking. He was running cords all the way up to plug in his car into the 120 at his cottage. It's not a New Hampshire plate. It's all the New York, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Connecticut plates that come up here to Lake Winnipesaukee for the summer are the ones that need that. Now, that may change in a couple of years as people adapt to this, but if we, get my glasses here. So on this first pack of the EV chargers, just some of the stats, but we've been tasked to put this, especially in high traffic areas, talking to banks, a lot of restaurants. We first brought this to this area. Pier 19 and Tuftonboro is going to have EV stations. You'll see that through us. For the boats, 1 in 3 pontoon boats in Ohio are already electric, which I did not know. Okay, that was very new to me. But Harley Jackson, Ossipee, he wants this because we're driving. People can plug in while they eat, and they're going to eat at his restaurant. We're doing Surfside Burger Bar, Moultonboro. So we're putting these stations all over so people. There's an app on the phone that tells people where can I plug in, and restaurant owners want it to be their parking lot, so they go in and get more. You know, it's proven to drive business that way. If you go to this next slide here, where it says 25% of Americans polled said their next purchase of a vehicle would actually be an electric vehicle, which is, that's optimistic thinking, but these are the stats of people that are polled. 4.6. Now it's not all vehicles. That was new purchases in 22, but if you look to the right. They suspect that by 2025, just a year and a half from now, the end of it, 1 in 10 vehicles on the road will be EV. This is averaging everything from New Hampshire all the way to California. But 1 in 5 new car purchases will be electric. So that's why we desperately need to put this in ahead of time to sustain it. Now, on the next page, you'll see why Supernova. We are the fastest charging station by far in the industry. It's a 20-minute fast charge. Now, I'm a Droid guy. My wife's an Apple girl, right? We have 2 different phones. We argue about who's better. If you think of Tesla, that's like the Apple. Everything else, the Ford, Kia, GM, Hyundai, that's the Droid more or less. Our Supernova charging station is for the everything else. However, Tesla can actually use an adapter to supercharge in 20 minutes at our stations as well. So it's not an either or. But the 120s that weren't sustaining for these people that went home and plugged it in, they could spend $6,000 or $8,000 for a charging station in their garage, but the people didn't want to spend that. But we have 150 kilowatt operating capacity, and with a CCR rating, which I'll get to, we have the ability to upgrade these existing pumps we already have up to 350. So there's a lot of future proof. As fast as technology grows, we don't expect our 20-minute charging to be superseded in the next 2 decades. I mean, the technology is what it is. What we will have eventually, though, is wireless charging, where it will be under the pavement when the car parks on top of it, almost like a wireless phone charger. We're moving toward that, but simple tap to pay with a credit card. We're even going to have crypto to be able to pay for these pumps, so we're forward thinking in all of this. But I say reduce time and installation. we can get these up and operational in 2 to 3 months. And cost, I mean, we've put these in for $75,000 to $250,000. From now to the end of the year, it's zero cost to anybody who wants these charging stations. So we're, talking to all the restaurants around here, et cetera. Now, I don't think this is a huge need for the county. Maybe one, so people come to visit Grammy at the nursing home if they're out of state, they can charge in while they're visiting, or Uncle Fred that's doing time behind us in the jail, maybe. But that's really not what this is about. But I want to show you the need for the second phase of this, okay? But the OCCP rating, we're 1.5 and 1.6 compliant. The 1.5 is for US, 1.6 is international rating, so we're the best as far as equipment is rated. And the Cali Vet wouldn't apply, we're not in California. The right would be for fleets, that wouldn't apply to the county either, but we are doing some fleets of school buses, unless someday the sheriff cars ever went that way, we have the capacity to do that as well. So next page, on the convenience, revenue, future-proof. Not only is it not going to cost Pier 19, Burger Bar, Harley Jacks, anything to have these, it's a revenue. Just like if I go to Irving and buy gas down the street, the owner of that gas station makes money. Whoever has these pumping stations gets paid every time somebody charges there. So if you did put these up, it would actually be revenue coming in. Would be zero installation cost, upkeep, maintenance at all. It would actually be a revenue stream if you did put these up, decided to. Okay. Now these are compact. I'm going to go to the part 2 in a second, but they are compact, very similar to the picture. We have 2 different designs, but really it doesn't take much more than a few feet in front of 2 parking spaces for 2 spots. In high traffic areas, we have some that are 6 or 12, but usually 1 or 2 for a medium traffic area in this area. Super reliable. If you go to this page here with the design of the guts of the equipment, even machines as new as 2023 are a lot of pieces put together. Our design is one piece, and the CCR, basically we can remote access it from anywhere in the country, and our techs can go in and do maintenance 24/7 for these things. Our liquid cooling is like the latest, greatest version of this as well. Some of this won't matter too much, but if you look at the left-hand side, Weather Seal, the IP65 rating, it's actually 2 ratings. IP is for ingress protocol, the 6 is for dust, and the 5 is for water. We don't have as much dust here as they do in the desert in Arizona, but we certainly had some rainstorms yesterday. Basically, a monsoon can come through, and these will still operate. They go, I think it's from 30 below zero to 120 degrees Fahrenheit, so these things will operate. There's LED lighting to draw people to it. Again, if somebody's staying or camping up here off-season, there would be an app on the phone to tell them where they could plug in. If they were misbehaving on the boat, they got to go to the courthouse to appear, they might as well plug their car in. That would be up to the commissioners if we want to decide for that. But fast, efficient, would not cost the county anything, and it would be a revenue stream if you decided to. So any questions on that first part? Okay. Again, it would be zero cost to the county if you decided to put that. But here's the thing. Like I mentioned, if you plug 16 million vehicles into the existing grid, it won't sustain. That's why Chris and Supernova, we're on a mission to put solar panels on top of 1 million buildings, businesses and municipality, in a short amount of time across this country. It's part of his vision for energy independence. He's not real big on windmills because I think they're ugly, wreck the horizon. They do break down. What you do with them? I think it was 647,000 birds were killed by windmills last year. It is what it is, but he's not real big on that. He also doesn't want to take a corn farm and put solar panels there. He's saying we have existing roofs everywhere. And a year and a half ago, on my farm in Tuftonboro, right in the Moultonboro line, I put a solar system on top of my farm. Okay? I spent $93,000 in my pocket. I actually wrote a check for my solar system, but I'm tied to the grid, and there's a meter with a co-op going out and one going in. So if I produce more than I use, the co-op has to legally purchase that from me, the existing energy. This is my letter from the co-op last month with a it's a $480 credit from the co-op because I made more than we use on my farm, in my bed and breakfast. So what I'm proposing is offering a no-cost solar system on top of the nursing home, this building, the county courthouse, the jail, at zero cost to the county. This is all paid through 2 tax bills. The money's already sitting there. It's been allocated by the bipartisan bill passed in November of 21 to put this out there to create energy so we can sustain the EVs across the country that we're also doing at the same time. So we're not into, you don't need it on the land, but the roofs that already exist. I just met with a town in Tuftonboro where I live. I was talking to the town administrator on Tuesday. Monday night, the town had just approved, ironically, a solar system for just the transfer station. They had done an RFP, one person bid it. And I went in there and explained to them that this isn't going to not only not cost them anything, I'm going to do it for the school, the police, the fire stations, the library, etc. And the amount of energy generated through these solar systems will cost the county nothing. It'll be thousands of dollars of revenue coming into the county. And it would be a multi-million-dollar job just to put solar on top of all these roofs, the same one that I personally bought a year and a half ago. And this will cost the commissioners and the county nothing. Going through here, though, is all part of our energy independence. The Supernova grid, like I said, storing energy in the grid, everything's metered, so any overage, but we'll have no more light bill at the nursing home, no more light bill at the jail, no more light bill at the county courthouse. And we have the same 24/7. We already have 3,800 installers, and I'm recruiting as fast as I can. I just contacted Solar Up. He's excited to join us in the project. Talking to Tuftonboro, I can actually use the contract that they were going to use for that county complex because we're growing as fast as we can. Chris hired 3,400 back office full-time W-2s last month, so we're ready to do this thing full-time. Pier 19, I called her. She said they already got contacted by Supernova Techs walking the property to do the demographics. So, and I don't need it's not like a signature on the line, nothing to buy, nothing to purchase. But unless you see a reason why not to at least investigate, I can have Supernova contact whoever wants to run point on that. There's some decision making for you guys as far as, EV charging stations or which buildings. But for sure, from now to the end of the year, zero cost to installation. We just changed our 25-year warranty to a lifetime warranty. And if you need a roof repair on any of it to hold the solar, we pay for the roof repair as well. Zero cost. And there's no fine print, Dallas. If you take this money, there's no strings attached. Okay, so you don't have to agree to use money for anything else. There's no other rules that come with this. This is there's no catch to it. Okay, these billionaires have been tasked with putting this across the country, and we're just offering free solar to the county on every building here. Any questions for me?
Who owns the actual equipment?
I'm sorry.
Once it's
installed, the county actually owns it.
Okay.
I don't know if I should share this or not, but one gentleman in San Francisco, we actually put a new roof on to support the solar panels. After we were done, he ripped the solar panels off and threw them away. They were literally his panels to do that. He was just anti for whatever reason, but he got a new roof out of the deal, nothing we can do. It's literally the county solar panels. You own it.
And we own all the energy they produce.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Bob? Sorry.
Is Commissioner Bill on there too? Does he have any questions?
I don't know if he's on.
Yeah, it's on a minute ago.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep.
Commissioner Nelson, do you have questions at all? Did you hear most of that? He's on mute.
Well, he's talking.
Commissioner Nelson, you're on mute. You have to unmute yourself. No, we can't hear you yet.
Okay, now you
There you are.
can.
Now we can.
Thank you.
Right, I watched the last 5 minutes, but I did not catch the beginning, so.
So,
I can watch Ed's tapes later.
okay, fantastic.
Bob?
So assuming that the county would take ownership of these, the county would be responsible for maintaining them. Is that a fair assumption?
It's all written, there's no surprises. The contract that they write up, you'll see all the details as far as warranty, maintenance, upkeep, upgrade, etc.
I think it'd be a good,
Copy of a contract?
Yes, I mean, Supernova will reach out to you. I mean, I'm just the placement person, that's what I've been tasked with. But whoever's points, I can have them,
I think it'd be a good idea to see a copy of
Yeah.
a contract.
Who would be pointing at? All right, so can I get your email and contact number before I leave them? And I'll just have them reach out directly to
Yeah,
you.
just reach out to Melissa. Please work through Melissa.
What's that?
Work through Melissa.
Works in okay.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Supernova would just need to talk to somebody and about, you have the answers about what your energy costs are, and I don't know the difference between a kilowatt and an amp and a vault, to be honest with you, but that would be their talk on that, so. But if you would be point, that would be fine, I guess, whoever you want them to contact.
Yep.
Okay,
You would have all that information.
Yeah.
I have a question.
yes.
Have you had any complaints? So of all the ones you talk about all over the country, other than you mentioned it one before, have there been complaints or is 100% of the people happy?
So far, I have not heard of anybody complaining. We had one guy rip off the solar, like I mentioned, in San Francisco, and that was a
Right.
crazy
You
one.
mentioned that.
Yeah, but I don't know if you heard, Mr. Nelson, that I paid for a solar system on my farm a year and a half ago. I paid $93,000 for a similar system I'm going to put on here, much bigger here. They measured because the sun was facing me for 2/3 of my property. I think I got 64 panels. You could do hundreds and hundreds of panels, probably between the 5 buildings, whatever is here.
Well, the county courthouse, we have no,
Okay.
that's not ours, that.
Okay, yeah, I wouldn't know that, so you would tell me. That would be a conversation between you and Supernova for the demographics or whatever, but that is it. So I'll get your information, we'll do a point on that. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
You have a question?
Yes, I do have. What's the life expectancy of the solar panels?
Right now, it's 25,
So in 25 years, we would probably have to replace them, right?
possibly. It'll be all in the,
And so you said you were tasked by who?
what's that?
You were tasked to do this by who?
I'm partnered with Supernova, but they have the government contract basically to do this because of the funding of the November 21st infrastructure bill. That has already been put aside for this, and they're the ones that are able to
So
allocate.
we're paying for this.
Correct, we already did, correct, we already did pay for
Taxpayers are
this.
already paying for this. It's not free.
Correct, oh, nothing's free.
Okay.
No, nothing is free.
Okay.
This is already taxpayer money that's already been put aside.
Right, so, and then we're, in 25 years, we're gonna have to do it again, if we wanna keep it. Any talk about the sustainability of it? Because from what I understand, they're really not as eco-friendly as everybody seems to think they are. There's a lot of production that goes into creating solar panels that's worse than what we're doing now. But we're just not doing it here. We will be doing it here, that's why they're taking the water from Idaho to do the cobalt. That's why the Carolinas have a lithium mine. I did find out about the lithium, it's in the Carolinas. They're trying to open. All of this is gonna destroy our environment. They've already destroyed the environment in the other countries that they're taking it from now. I don't see how this is actually a good thing for anybody, but I know everybody wants to use it because they think they're doing something good. They're not. And if they actually did some research on these solar panels, they are hazards. They are a hazard. When they break, they leak toxic chemicals. We're already worried about our water because of the PFAS that we can't seem to get out of it. There's many other things. Now, I understand this is business for you, and it's free, right? It's not really free because the government's paying for it.
We already pay for it, correct.
We are the government, all right? We pay for it. So there's nothing free about this. I don't see this being a good idea, but there's an awful lot of people out there that like their electric vehicles. They're very hazardous. The fire departments are having a problem putting them out when they catch fire. I'm not sure that this is a good idea. I understand, it's a business thing, and the government's giving the money out. In 25 years, we're gonna have to pay that money, or we're gonna have to get rid of it. Somebody's gonna have to come up with that. I mean, I could probably still be around in 25 years, so I'm not sure this is a good idea.
Environmentally, part of your concern though is you're talking about the battery backups. And actually, I do have that on my system, that if the grid goes down, it runs off of my batteries. That's not necessarily a prerequisite. We do the batteries on about half of the systems.
So can I make another comment? If they're so concerned about the electric vehicles, why didn't they put solar panels on the electric vehicles themselves? So that they could charge while they're driving down the road. And they don't have to put it on anybody else's stuff. This wasn't thought out very well, that's all.
I agree with that, absolutely, I agree with that.
Hey, I've got a question. How do they function in snow? Like, do they get covered with snow? Or what happens like in January, February, where we have like a week of no sun at all?
Correct, that's a variable. If we had 2 months of cloud cover,
How
but
do they perform on your roof at the farm?
they perform very well. Now, some months it produces a lot more But it's all a metered in, metered out. So it's variable for seasons.
But does somebody with like the farm manager have to get on the roof and brush the snow off of
It
them?
falls right off. I mean, from my own
Falls off.
experience, you don't need a roof rake, it actually takes it right off for you.
They don't melt off?
I don't know if it's a melting thing, I've never seen it accumulate
They're
on
at
the
an angle
panels.
where the pitch is where the snow will fall off.
Okay, yeah. And I think the sun hitting the glass, it just pulls right off for some reason. I've never had to empty one of them. Yeah, good question, though. Very good question.
I will say one more thing.
One more.
I would check with the Portland, Maine School District, who bought a fleet of EV buses that they had to discontinue because they were not operating in the wintertime. They were not able to run the buses the way they needed to. So they discontinued their fleet that they just bought. We paid for it, government funded it. They bought these EV buses, a whole fleet of them, and they had to discontinue it because they were not reliable in the wintertime. And I would check, it was in the paper.
Sure. I'm not proposing to do a fleet here. Like that,
Well, I mean,
but
you did bring up fleet service, so.
we have sustainability to charge an entire fleet if somebody had that.
Right.
But our stations work 30 below to 120 degrees, so they operate in that. But
I get it.
I'm not familiar with the fleet dynamics, but.
Thank
We'll
you.
wait for the contract.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, very good.
Wow,
Appreciate that.
great presentation. How could anyone say no?
Well, we may have to have an environmental study before and spend money to accept something like
Another
that.
one?
And then they'll go into non-public to discuss it.
We might get the boot.
Yes, we might do that. Bob, you're up next.
Good morning, thank you. All right, we just had all of the air conditioners on the campus serviced over the last couple of weeks. And we had a catastrophic failure of an air conditioner at the nursing home, which services two of the nursing stations on the west side of the building. This is something that can't be repaired, it needs to be replaced. So they sent us a proposal. It's a two-head unit that takes care of the first floor and the second floor nurses station. And this is E&E. The E&E is the company that does all of our maintenance here for HVAC. And they gave us a proposal for $9,990 to replace that unit. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to hit my budget, but I have it. But it needs to be done. It's just as simple as that. It needs to be done. So I'd like the commissioner's authorization to proceed.
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Would you- Excuse me, I'm sorry, would you include in your motion to allow Director Murray to execute the agreement, or would you like to do it? I don't-
I don't have a signature line on this proposal,
Oh, okay.
so, but still, I think it's probably a good idea to have the commissioners authorize me to act on behalf of the
I
commissioners.
would add that to the motion.
Yep. Okay with you, Bill?
Yes, it is.
Madam Chair, is this a waived bid circumstance?
It falls under the threshold.
I'm just saying follow the
Yeah.
procedure for waiving bids, which is the reason why. You have to give the reason why you're doing it, that's all.
Just
But we're
falls
not-
under the
but we're not
amount.
waiving.
It falls under the threshold.
Okay. Oh, it's under the threshold?
Yes.
Under the threshold.
Thank you.
Anything else, Paul?
No, that's it. Sorry we have to do it, but
Oh, you have to do it.
it happens.
You gotta do it.
Anything else for me?
I think so.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Cheap and each resident, man.
Any other, okay. Commissioners' comments, reports? I don't have anything. Other business?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We're going to be going into,
Sorry, Madam Chair, I just have the letter of engagement with Mitchell Municipal if
Okay,
you're,
because it's right, it's not on our agenda.
right. I didn't know, I didn't have it in time, so I put
Okay.
it on your agenda, but I think I put it in your email that I sent out.
Yeah, you did. Does Bill have that at home?
I believe he does, that it was in your
Yeah,
packet.
Yes.
yeah.
I can double check and send it again.
Okay. Any questions?
No,
on that?
no, I read it.
Okay, Bill, any questions on that?
What was it? Could you repeat what it was for? I could tell you if I watched, I looked at it or not.
It's the engagement.
Yeah, the engagement letter for the attorney. Is it Milford?
Oh, I saw that.
Mitchell
I
and
agree with that.
Municipal group.
You read that? Okay.
To make a motion, we accept it, or?
Yep,
Second.
second. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else, Melissa?
No, that was it
That
for
was
public.
just one thing, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where the cheat sheet is for the non-public, oh, you have it.
Yeah, yeah, I put it over
Okay.
here. Yep, okay. So, would you care to read us into non-public?
I guess I would. We will now go into non-public under New Hampshire RSA 91A-91-A:3, 2, and we're going to go into section, what are we doing?
A through M.
A through M. And I'm not going to read them all, but but it's A through M. Is that okay, Ed?
You're doing every single exemption?
I can help if you want. It's
Okay.
A, C, L, and J.
Thank you.
A, C, L. Okay, I'll read them all. A, the dismissal, promotion, or compensation of any public employee or the disciplining of such employee or the investigation of any charges against him or her unless the employee affected, one, has a right to a meeting, and two, request that meeting be open in which case the request shall be granted.
Okay, you want to come
C is matters which, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of the public body itself, unless such person requests an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to any application for assistance or tax abatement or waiver of a fee, fine, or other levy, if based on inability to pay or poverty of the applicant. L is consideration of legal advice provided by legal counsel, either in writing or orally, to one or more members of the public body, even where legal counsel is not present. And J is consideration of confidential commercial or financial information that is exempt from public disclosure under RSA 91-A:5 for an adjudicative proceeding pursuant to RSA 541 or RSA 541-A.
I'll make a motion, I'm going to non-public session.
Second.
All those in favor, roll call vote?
Nelson, yes. McGee,
Yes.
and McCarthy.
Yes.
10:46. And Commissioner Nelson has been on Zoom, for the record. Thank you.
So there goes.
Okay,
12:25.
I thought I took it out.
You want to wait for Bill, or you want to just?
Is he coming back?
I told him 12:30 originally, but Karen was calling him.
Oh, well, we can come out and go, we can do that.
No, we can do it. He won't.
Okay. Need a motion to come out of non-public and seal the minutes?
So moved.
I'll second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 12:25.
And we only have one thing, is the proposal for the environmental consulting in the amount of $5,200.
Just for the benefit of those that are watching, this is one of the grant requirements for the annex project that we were somewhat not aware of, but we have to do it before we can move forward. So I will make a motion that we approve that $5,200 estimate for SRW Environmental Consulting. And they're in
I'll second
Rochester.
that motion.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
And then you just have to go back into non-public. I don't remember what section it was on the blue part. Where are we at? J and C?
Yep.
All right, so we're going to make a motion, we go back into non-public under New Hampshire RSA 91-A:32. J, consideration of confidential commercial or financial information that is exempt from public disclosure under RSA 91-A:5 for in an adjudicative proceeding pursuant to RSA 541 or RSA 541-A. And we need J, and what was the other one, Melissa?
C. C.
C?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, C, another long one. Matters which, if discussed in public, would likely affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of the public body itself, unless such person requests an open meeting. This is exemption shall extend to any application for assistance or tax abatement or waiver of a fee, fine, or other levy, if based on inability to pay or poverty of the applicant.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor? Roll call vote.
Nelson, yes. McGee
Yes.
and McCarthy.
Yes.
12:28. Madam Chair, maybe I was very heated when I came in the room, but you came in a non-public, did you see all those minutes? Or
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, you did, I didn't hear it. Okay, thank you.
And we did that so that you guys don't have to hang around, because we have 2 non-publics and nothing after that,
Yeah.
because it's so,
You promise?
Steamy
Yes,
out there. Yeah,